So as I worked through career mode, one thing I noticed is that initially I only had the first flight seeing missions available to me. And even though I'd passed my commercial, I didn't have anything else opened up. So I was wondering how to make that happen. And I finally figured it out. So on your local map, you might not see them. So depending on wherever you started to fly, just zoom out and then have a look around and you'll find these gold markers. For example, this one's aerial advertising. I don't have the specializations yet, so I can't do that. However, if I go over here, there's Skydive. So I can do this one because I've got the right accreditations done. And Ferry Flight is one that I've unlocked already too, and it was sitting over here in the Europe area too. So I'm just gonna click on the Skydive and see how this works. And I'm coming into this cold. I don't know anything really about flying skydiving missions, but have a look here and see. So we take off, climb significantly, it looks like, and then boot everybody out. I think that's how it works, right? Anyway, see the briefing. So 2 solo parachutists. Alright, doesn't really give me any idea of actually how to fly a parachuting mission, but let's give this a shot. Fly it cold. Fly by the seat of my pants just to figure this out, and hopefully what I succeed and fail at will be good indicators for you when you get to this mission. So criteria: fly as fast as possible, keep stable during the jump, land smoothly, and drop with precision. Okay. Alright. Let's give it a shot. And it's in a Skyhawk, so I'm not sure why it's showing that aircraft there. But anyway, there's the Skyhawk 172, and go through all the pre-flight.
All right, folks, let's get this party started.
5-on-5 helicopter. Everybody make your way onto the aircraft. Same exit order we discussed back at the clubhouse, okay?
It's interesting. I set I have in the settings helicopter, even though I'm flying a fixed wing. It doesn't change that, but not a big deal. I just find it funny every single time I fly that it says that. And one thing too, on the display, I don't know why this one doesn't turn on fully here, so I always push enter.
Let's go. All right, let's make
Just
this
zoom
a
in on
jump
that
to
so you can
remember.
see it.
I
The
want
enter
to see
button right
smiles
here
on
on the
those
garment.
rockstar faces
Why
when
is
we're
this not
back
working?
here.
Is my mouse not aligned properly? Because I'm getting... Yeah, that's not lined up properly. Way. It's off. Oh, gosh, why is that happening? Anyway, it's not going to be critical for flight, but just want to push the enter button. Enter, enter. That's all I want to push here. This button. And it's on the yoke for some reason. Oh, there, enter. So that wasn't where the mouse was, or the pointer was at all for me on my display, but anyway. Got that clicked off. So we'll continue to work through this.
Echo Alpha Papa traffic helicopter Sierra Papa Uniform 189er is taxiing to runway 17.
Right.
Is everyone ready to go? Love it. So, important reminder. We're here to have fun, but your security is our priority, so listen to what I say at all times. Last check, buckle up, helmet, eye shield, altimeter. You confirm? Great.
It's interesting having a different dialogue with the passengers compared to previous flights where it's been nothing but, talking about flying over their hometown and things like that. So hearing them talk about what they have to do during their jump, that's new to me. All right, stop in the hold short for the radio calls.
Lima Echo Alpha Papa traffic helicopter Sierra Papa Uniform 189er taking off runway 17 departure to the south.
All right. Whoa. Okay. Line her up and wind her up. Alright, so I got my 4,000 now on the power. I'm over 50, over 60. Alright, lift off. Let's go.
Hey, Solo 7 helicopter, I've uploaded relevant data onto your map. Quick update anyway. Your drop axis today is into the wind, heading 149 degrees true. Current on-site speed is 12 knots. Check your map regularly so you can adjust your flight. I'm keeping tabs and everything from my end. Time to soar now. See you in a few minutes, guys.
Alright, everything's on the map. So what I'm looking at on the right display, I guess? What I see on the compass, though, is not it. That must be the pattern. Let's see here. Let's just go to the pause menu. Free. Okay. Let's back this up. So what am I doing here? Okay, so going out, making a right-hand turn. Climbing. Way out there, and then climb some more. And then when we come back, we've got jump axis approach. Jump axis start. Jump axis end before I fly it out and then descend back. Okay, well, I'm assuming that the dialogue in the aircraft or information from the gentleman that just spoke to me there is going to be provided to me so I can make the right decisions along the way. Looks like I'm already a little bit too high. Oh yeah, we got a long climb ahead of us. Get lined up with that, and then I'm going to trim it out, so that hopefully we can just follow that path nice and smooth. Don't have to do too much. Ten 10,000 feet, okay. We got a ways to go here.
Speak up now if you have anything to say. Shaking like a leaf.
So fuel's at 30%. I didn't look at that at all prior to us leaving. I just left everything how it had set it for me. So hopefully this could be enough. I don't know what kind of power setting I should be on here. Like I said, fly as fast as possible. Does that mean right now? Or is that while we're close to where they're going to jump? Not too sure.
I love that part. The anticipation, the adrenaline. Hope I remember to pull the cord. Don't worry. Our gear comes with a safety device. Even if you forget to pull the cord, your reserve parachute will open.
One thing I found during training is that there's a lot of emphasis on trim, and during the exam I saw that the assisted trim had been turned back on. So they went through the whole training and then they turned it back on. So I had a bit of a challenge during the exam just working through the auto trim, because it adjusts for whatever it thinks you want, and then if you make any adjustments to it, it's going to change those again for you. So I just turned it off, because with all the training on the trim, you just learn how to do it, and I think it's, once you figure it out, it's way better than using the auto, as with pretty much everything in this game. But yeah, just go in, turn it off, learn how to trim it properly, because otherwise you'll be fighting what you want to do with what the AI in here thinks you want to do, and that can be a little bit frustrating. So quick tip from me, trim that thing out on your own. Just seeing if it had any timers between waypoints at all in here, but they were just a couple seconds. That's not accurate for how long this climb out is going to be, because we have to get up to 10,000 feet and we're at 2,700 right now, so we're a quarter of the way. It's going to be a long time to get this bird up that high. I'm just looking at the system stats right now. I just have I can't remember the name of the tool right now, but on the new NVIDIA app, there's an overlay tool that you can put on there, and you can see it up in the top left. The compass is kind of blocking it, but I can see on my second monitor that the GPU is up around 85% a lot of the time, 88%, whereas my CPU is only at 32, so I'm not a pro at that kind of stuff at this stage. But what I think that means is the GPU is getting pretty maxed, while there's tons of room on the CPU to handle other tasks. So I'm gonna wait a week here and see at CES if the 5000 series GPUs come out, and if they do and the price isn't ridiculous, then it might be time for an upgrade from this 3070. Like, it works good, but you can see it says 27 FPS. That's not ideal. I'd love to see, like, some of the other videos that I've come across where people are pushing high 50s to 60 frames per second or even higher based on their GPU and CPU. It looks phenomenal. So I'd like to get into that maybe at some point, but for now, the 27 looks okay to me. To my untrained, I don't know, gamer eye, I guess. I think it looks okay. So, but I know, looking at the other ones, that it can get better. Bring a little more power on here. Just not quite following that path. I'm below it now. Bring up my trim.
Ready to roll? Hope so. I don't have a choice now.
Check out the area that we're flying over. You're here. Oh, you're kind of blocking my view. Oh, the door is open already. Cool. Okay. Well, I guess it's not so much that the door is open. It's probably just the configuration that the door is off for this kind of flight. making a turn to the right as we come up here, or as we approach the end of this track. 4,500 feet. Yeah, this is making sense. So she mentions 10,000 feet earlier. So at the end here, I'm assuming we're going to be pretty darn close to 5,000 feet at the halfway point. So we make our turn and come back. Keep following the path that it's set for us to 10,000, and we should be looking pretty good. Fuel 27%, so I think, like I said, I left it all up to this. Oh yeah, there's a low fuel light now. So I'm trusting that it gave us enough fuel to make it through this whole flight, but anyway, interesting that that's coming on now at the halfway point. We got a long way to go here still, because we're halfway, or we're all the way out, I guess. And then we got to make our turn, continue our climb. We got another 5,000 feet to go. What I love in this sim so far is just some of the sounds. I'm not sure if you can hear them on your end or not, but like very realistic sometimes. When you make a turn, like, you can hear difference in air over the wings, like just various sounds that I've heard, you know, in a real aircraft. It's very cool to just hear them being mimicked here very accurately. So yeah, very well done with this game. And with the latest update, I can see, with this aircraft at least, everybody stays inside. Like, just looking at the aircraft, nobody's head is poking out, right? Prior to the update, during some of the flight seeing missions that I was working before I got my commercial, there was a couple times where my head was poking out of the aircraft, the clients' heads were poking out of the aircraft, or they were standing on the wings, they were halfway in the wing, etc. So that kind of goofy stuff might not be happening anymore. It could be just that one aircraft. I can't remember which one it was now. It wasn't this 172, but maybe they fixed that. Anyway, I'm sure I'll come across that aircraft again, but for now, just focus on what we're doing here in the 172. Fuel's dropped down 1% more. We're over 6,000 feet now. Knock back the trim just a bit, because I think I'm just climbing a little too aggressively. Nice area for them to jump over. Yeah, this 9% seems to be pretty good. 9%, it's under 5,000. RPM. Actually, I'm gonna have to bring that up. I can see now I'm on the low end of this gate or marker or whatever you want to call it. So bring up the trim a little bit. Oh, we're into a little bit of cloud. Interesting. First time I've come across that. Lower now, so I gotta bring up some power, get some more power on, bring up that trim, get us up there, because we've dropped below what these markers are suggesting. So let's probably best to be around that 75. Like during the training, that was kind of the marker that, or like the target speed, I guess, during the climb. A lot of turbulence around here. Wow, it's fun to deal with. All right, back in the pocket here now. Lock back the power just a bit, so we don't end up too high. Trim down to I ended up adding on a little bit too much. Just finding the balance of the right power setting with the trim to try and stay in this. Turbulence obviously throws you around a little bit, so you have to make adjustments for that, but here we go, right into a cloud again. It's interesting. Well, I guess the game doesn't, or the sim doesn't know. Well, it should know, but haven't gone through the IFR training yet. So it's interesting, it's throwing us right through a cloud. Maybe there's a percentage of the sky where they're going to allow it regardless. Even if you go through a little bit of cloud, it's okay. But I don't know, like looking in front of me right now, like there's a big mother right there that we're heading right for. Is that going to completely just whitewash everything for us? Hope not, but it looks like we're going to find out. If it is, then it'll be all over the gauges. Yeah, out the window, we got nothing in front of us. The clouds, it's okay over there. I don't know. Still surprising to me that this kind of cloud cover is here, especially for this kind of flight. Like, do they want to jump out when it's cloudy? Maybe. Do I want to be flying through this kind of heavy stuff? Nope. Not at this stage. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Like, what is this? This is nuts. Like, you can kind of see the ground, but so what? That is thick. I am so surprised that it's putting us into this without going through the IFR training, or that this kind of mission with this kind of conditions is even something that would be given at this point. I don't know, it's clear now, but still, that's not very comfortable. Didn't really care for that. %, fuel. Approaching 8,000 feet, so we're getting there. We got just over 8 miles till the jump axis approach. Show us any more out here? No. It's a good looking aircraft. I like that paint job.
Helicopter Solo 7, 2 minutes, green light.
Okay. 2 minutes green light, 2 minutes before jump. Start my timer just to see, just out of curiosity. So she mentioned 10,000 feet. Looking at this right now, I don't know if we're going to get there. I guess we are still climbing. Okay. I almost missed that radio call up in the top right. I might have called that out way too early as well. I'm not sure, because it said 2 minutes. We still have 6 miles. Gonna find out. Let's take a quick look at this map, actually. So, where are we? Okay, we still climb, and then the axis approach, start, and end. Okay. Let's see. So over the clouds. First time for me being over the clouds in this sim. Looks cool. Yeah, this guy's in the way. So I made that call. Yeah, I think I made that call way too early because the axis approach is still 5 miles away, and we're at 1 minute and 20. Well, more than that because I didn't start the timer until afterwards. But anyway, I'm gonna be off on that 2 minutes. It'll be interesting to see if that changes anything for their behavior, or if that's something that I'm gonna have to try and time a little bit better for future jumps. Or if it's just a checkbox in the sim to make that call. Yeah, we're way over. So yeah, over 2 minutes now, and we're still just under 4 nautical miles away from the approach. And again, I don't know. I've never flown one of these before, so I don't know exactly what they're gonna do or what they expect from me. Whoop. Right. Getting closer. 9,400 feet, still 2 miles out. Still way off on that timer from where I made that radio call. So around this area is probably where I should have made that call. But anyway, too late now. Just gonna pause that and reset that because I don't need that thing up any longer. Just continue to line it up with this approach. Fuel at 23%. This is really interesting to me that our fuel is at this level, but again, I let the AI do everything on the pre-flight, so hopefully that's enough to get us back with more than 15%, I hope. To 9,800 feet, less than a mile to go. Climbing at 300 feet per minute. So staying on this, are we gonna get... Yeah, there we go. Okay, so align with wind 150. Okay. Set altitude at 10,000 feet, set a speed of 72 knots. Alrighty. So back off on the power a bit. Bring this down. I wonder, maybe some flaps. That's probably a good idea. So go to 10% flaps. Bring down the speed. Along with my power. So I'm aligned. I gotta get my speed down. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Lower the power. Bring up the nose. Here we are at 72. I dropped my power too much, I think. I don't know if it's 72 and below or if it's at 72 is what it wants. So I gotta try and keep that. Okay, 72, got my check. Press. that to allow the jump. So, okay. So 10,000 feet, 72 knots.
Jump.
There you guys go.
Claim your prize, folks. Go.
Are they gonna go? All right, here they go. One. All right, I'm not gonna watch them. I'm messing around with my speed and stuff here.
Time to say goodbye, couple. See you
There we
back
go.
at
Yeah, I
work.
ended up going a little bit too fast. Trying to watch them go. Are you gonna go? You're going, right? I slowed her down for you. There you go. All right, out. Okay. Okay, now it's
7
jumpers
helicopter,
away.
divers
Now it says reach final.
Legendary run, guys. Now, time for the debrief.
All right, so now I gotta get this animal back down on the ground. Get some more power on. And work on my return to Earth. Yeah, that's cool being that high up. Work on my trim a little bit now. It's too little, way too little. Wonder in these missions if I make this happen faster, like if I don't fly way out there and then way back again, if it'll penalize me. But then again, I'm going to exceed the parameters of the airframe if I really dive this thing down and then end up at some immense speed that I can't, well, I'll bend up the airframe or can't control the aircraft anymore. So yeah, no, disregard that. I'm lower than what it's showing me in the markers already, but that's probably gonna be all right. You can see the others below us down there. Fuel at 22, yeah, that's just... Like, I guess, where did we start at? Around 30, I think? The light went on at 27, so we've lost 5 since then, and that was still on the climb. So we should be okay. It's funny, as we wobble back and forth, you can see the final marker go right, left, right, left. There's probably a setting in here. Let me get back on course. Probably a setting in here to adjust how many of those kind of things will show up for you, but right now I haven't touched them. I haven't gone into the settings to have a look yet to see if I can turn off things like that just to remove the distractions or not, but they're helpful, so maybe I will just leave them. Take out some power. I don't want to be going too fast. Here we are back into the clouds. Awesome, and it looks very dark. Again, I don't understand that at this stage, prior to the IFR training, that this kind of thing is being brought on. And again, this could be my fault though right now, just looking at this, because it's The path that it's suggesting that I take may have been over this cloud and not right through it like I'm setting myself up for right now. So that could be my fault, as I don't see really a heck of a lot of anything. See the ground? Barely. Anyway, I guess it's all training for later. When I go through the IFR at some point, but this is ridiculous. Like, I am right in it. Is it that much higher that I'd be out of it? That, like, where it wants me to fly? I don't know. Do not like it. Not one bit. Yeah, that's brutal. Like, no reference. Zero reference right now. No ground. A little bit of sky. That's not doing anything for me. Is that the ground? Yeah, okay, that's the ground out there, which is good. Alright. IFR prior to IFR training, I guess. Note to you, if you're doing this, maybe stay with the markers at the altitudes that it's suggesting, because I think that's probably why I ended up in this situation. Just flying a lot lower than I should have, but anyway. Fly as you'd like, and learn from me as I'm just trying to figure this out as I go. Yeah, like, I'm not that much lower than it right now, and I'm right in the clouds, so it might not be better if you line up, but it's worth a shot for when you go through this, because yeah, that's pretty uncomfortable considering there hasn't been any training on that yet, and I can't wait to go down there and make my turn and then come back and fly through that again. So maybe it's just something with the game or the sim. Sometimes I call it game, sometimes I call it sim, but I'm still just not very comfortable with how that all played out, because I don't know. I don't think that it should throw you through that. Unless it just takes the IFR training as just a checkbox on your way to passengers, but and flying like the big boys, but I think that's a miss. Going through that type of cloud without the IFR training prior. But what do I know? I'm still a flight sim rookie, right? %20 fuel, and I still have a long ways to go to get out there. So what? What? How far am I going? So I'm going down there, I'm making the turn, and then I'm coming back in. Like, how far? Can't quite see it here because the clouds are in the way. Yeah, I got a long way to go to get back there before I turn final. Yoy. Well, again, I'm just trusting that it gave me enough fuel to be able to make that. I'm very tempted to turn right now instead of flying all that way. Like, just preserve my sanity, my anxiety with that fuel level. But I'm going to let it run out. We're not going to let it run out. That's wrong. Not really the right way to say that right now because we're talking about fuel, but I'm going to let it play out with how much fuel it set me up for prior to this flight. So you can see, and you can see if it's something that you're going to have to adjust for by adding or maybe turning sooner than what this has set us up for. Because, yeah, we're flying way out there. Like, we're bleeding off our altitude and then ultimately our speed once we get closer to the final. But for now, yeah, I'm just going to keep a close eye on that fuel gauge because it's slowly dropping. It'll be hilarious when we land like right before 15. Or not even. Like, what are we at here? Yeah, it'll be higher, but just thinking to myself that it would be funny, like, with all of my complaining, that we're gonna put her down right before 15. Just be happy. Parachuters are happy. And all of my concern with the fuel level will be for naught, but it's all part of the learning process. You are going to be flying planes in this, or even the helicopters too. I can't recommend the second monitor enough. Like, just being able to see out that left window. I've got my monitor up on the left side. Being able to see out the window is so helpful. Like, I see all the time. Also, while being able to fly forwards and not end up in that situation. Like, when I looked back to to watch the jumpers go, if I had a monitor on the right side, I would have been able to see that without having to look over there, and then I wouldn't have ended up with that airspeed issue, I guess you want to call it. Or can't remember, did I go above or below? Either way. Yeah, I think I went too fast. Yeah, I ended up going too fast. But yeah, it would have been nice to be able to just watch that out the window. I think that would have been pretty cool. Like, right now I can see where I need to go just out the window like that, which is very cool. Obviously, as I turn, I lose that because the wing is getting in the way. So we got 21 miles, 19%. 5,500 feet. Just gonna trust the process. Work the trim here to try and get me pointed in the... just right down this glide path. Don't know if I've got it at this power setting, if I'm in the zone or not. I also don't want this to take forever too, so I'm going to put a little more power on. And take down the trim a little bit, because I can see it setting itself up just a little bit higher than these markers or gates, whatever they're called. too much, too much. Trim down. Still too much. Knock it back a little bit more. I'm still flying with the Xbox controller. I haven't moved into anything else yet, so the trim on the Xbox controller is the right button or right bumper, and then the right stick, up or down, to make adjustments to the trim. Bring the power down a little bit. It's still 15 miles. Yeah, these missions are interesting. Like, it's just a lot of flying. In a straight line. The only real work, well, I guess there's work throughout the whole thing, but during the jumps, just trying to maintain the altitude and then the speed. Workload increased a bit through that. I didn't work on the trim at all, I don't think. I'm gonna have to go back and look and see what I did there, but yeah, it was a lot more manual work at that point, just to try and keep up with the altitude and speed that it was requesting. But overall, I think it went fairly well. Yeah, just a nice, very nice area that they were jumping over. And 19% fuel. Yeah, we're gonna be just fine, I think, on the fuel. Sure, if I went through the tablet a little bit more, in a little more detail, it probably had the weight of everybody and the fuel that it gave us. I don't know if that would be like taking off at the maximum for this aircraft or not, or if it would just be calculated based on their weights and just a little more than what we would need, or yeah, just what we would need to get back and not having to put any more on there. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do a little more reading on these parachute flights just to see what kind of, how to calculate that kind of stuff. I'm curious, like obviously it did it on its own, did a good job of it, but being able to do it on your own and go through all this would be interesting as well. To me, at least. Maybe not to you. You're probably rolling your eyes right now going like, whatever, just let the sim take care of that for you. But why not learn? Like, you know, it's a great tool. Take down my trim a bit as I'm coming in. Maybe take down the, maybe power. Maybe that's what I should work on. So it's not just a massive, like, trying to like bleed off all my speed and everything as we get closer into this airport. We've still got a long ways to go, but I just don't want to create a heck of a lot of work for myself later. Let's go to 2200-ish. Bring up the trim. Bring up the nose, I guess, a little bit. Help me get rid of some of that speed. Climbing, yeah, knock back speed, the RPM a little bit more. Line myself up a bit better. All right, so 2000, over 2000 RPM. Beautiful area. It would be awesome to visit some of these places for real one day. Maybe you have. Maybe you live here. I don't know. But yeah, these are. Like, look at that. Look at that down there. That is unreal. I'm gonna bring back some power here. Slow this baby down. Might be a little early for that glow, but how's our fuel? 18, yeah, we'll be fine. Ah, look at this place. Look at that. Beautiful. Introduce some flap here. I'm going to bring it up to 10. Try and increase my drag to bring down my airspeed, to lower my power. Nose up a little bit to remove some of that speed out the window. I see the runway. There it is. Coming down to 70. Yeah, 75 knots right now. Looking good. The speed is okay. Yeah, 1400 on the power. I think we'll be okay. Follow traffic pattern, fly to final. We're okay. Started to turn a little bit early there. Right. Let's go. So 10% flaps. The trim, I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. Coming in. Speed is okay. Announce. Final. I didn't hear him do it. Well, anyway, I clicked it. There we go.
Alpha Papa traffic helicopter Sierra Papa uniform 189er.
A little more flap just to help drag, increase the drag a bit, trim down so we can get the nose down. And ditch my power. Alright, we're coming in. Coming down right around that 65 knots. Looking right at the front of the runway. And here we go. Let's land this pig. Nose up a little bit more there, kind of a little bit aggressive there. And down.
You'll have to optimize your rotation. We're losing too much time.
Sorry, what? Optimize my rotation. We're losing too much time on what? Not sure where that complaint came from just now. Anyway, hold short, announce.
Lima Echo Alpha Papa traffic helicopter Sierra Papa Uniform 189er is
Bring up
taxiing
some
departure.
power. This thing moving. I love how it tries to put you right through other aircraft. I don't get that. That's a little close. Drop off the RPM, bring it over to the parking stand. Brakes, brakes, brakes. Turning, turning. Oh no, did I stop? Did I slow her down too much? Yeah, I might have. Yeah, a little bit of.
Not bad, Cap.
Alright.
Come see me, and I'll show you how to improve your game.
Oh, he's gonna give me some tips. Okay, good. 'Cause yeah, clearly. That was all by the seat of my pants, which it worked, but there's clearly going to be room for improvement on that. So, see how I scored. 0% on execution time. Okay, so he didn't complain about that till the very end. Everything went perfect on my performance. All right, so he didn't complain about that till the very end, but we're going to have to see. Like, it said fly as fast as possible. And let's see, does it talk about... Oh, no, that's the aviator stuff. Like, just try and get the mission done as fast as possible, I guess. Anyway. We're gonna learn. Alright, so I got some credits. And am I going to get some instruction here? Alright, I made it up to B on the reputation. Nice. Now I go 5% up for every mission, as opposed to 2 that I was on the last one. And now up to level 14, after, yeah, gathering a lot of XP on that flight. And no, it doesn't come and see me, it says, and it'll give me some tips. Well, that's great. It didn't actually tell me, so my only assumption is to fly that as fast as possible, to get the mission done as quickly as possible, to be able to score higher on that and make everybody happy. But I'll keep flying them. If I figure it out, I'll add it into the description or the comments. But thanks for joining me on that. I hope that helps for seeing how it's done, how it's not done, clearly with the 0% on the on that one speed thing there. So hope you enjoyed that. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the sky.